Hello everybody, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today we are returning to Grand Tactician, the Civil War, the Whiskey and Lemons DLC, and our Let's Play series playing as General, what are we, Matthew McCormick. I guess we're technically a colonel. We're currently in command of the 2nd Brigade of the 5th Division in the Army of Northeastern Virginia. That's the formation that was formed to fight the Battle of Bull Run, but has now ballooned to 40,000, actually 44,000 men when you include the walking wounded. Our brigade is in the 5th Division, the newest division, and has a 3,700 men are currently in the brigade, although about 1,000 of them are currently casualties. We had over 4,000 before the last battle, but we lost several of them killed, and then a considerable number wounded. We were really the heaviest engaged brigade in the force, but we were overwhelmed. The total forces on the map were about 20,000 Federals versus 40,000 rebels, and so we were fighting a losing battle. We did inflict heavier casualties on the enemy than they on us, at least within our command, but it was there was only so much we could do. You can see here we actually have quite a few brigades. We've got the 23rd Massachusetts, who are in 12-month enlistments. We've got the 17th Massachusetts with 36-month enlistments, the 31st New York with 24-month enlistments, the 18th New York with 24-month enlistments, the 16th New York with 24-month enlistments. It looks like most of them must have just recently re-upped. I know this was at the 23rd. Definitely re-upped their enlistments because they had been like 90-day soldiers. It doesn't say that they did. Oh, here it is, June 25th. New contract signed for 36 months. Doesn't say what the, oh yeah, 80% of them re-enlisted. I think these guys should have just re-enlisted like right after the battle. There's no update for it though yet, so maybe it's like in process. But you can see here they're fairly large regiments-ish. 500 men, 500 men, 500 men, 500 men. So it's a good size unit. Doesn't look like I can merge the regiments, which would be kind of nice to just shrink the number of units that we have in our brigade. We also do have an artillery battery with 35 men and 3 guns. I'd kind of like the ability to get more guns, but I don't have enough men to do that. We could send them home to recruit more troops, but then I'd be deprived of the artillery. In any event, we are currently northwest of Richmond, which has recently been retaken by the rebels. There are several divisions to our southeast, but the rebels have kind of swept in behind most of the formation, and so they've got corps down here, corps up here, and we're in this precarious situation where everybody's kind of everywhere. We're the only division that might have a clear supply line out west here, although it does say that our supply situation is not good and our division is low on ammo and low on morale. Apparently there have been a bunch of commanders in this division also who have suffered casualties. We did have one regiment whose commander is wounded or was wounded in action, but I replaced him with someone new, and so all of our regiments have commanders. We apparently are 3 stars. We have, we're considered a veteran officer. We are not defamed. We do have one officer, Lieutenant Colonel Charles Smith, who is defamed. If we were to go ahead and replace him, I've only really got one option, William Goodrich. Was he our 2nd in command when we were commanding the regiment? He might have been. So I could replace him. But Smith is actually a pretty good commander, 3 stars across the board. I don't know that I'd want to do that. You do get a morale hit when you're fighting with an officer who is who's not well regarded, but meanwhile, 3 stars for me. My own particular character, when we go in here though, I'm not quite as, that does say I'm 3 stars, so I'm a veteran officer up here. Administration's 4 stars, leadership 2, initiative 3, fame 1, cunning 2.5. So we're not very famous. We're a little bit overweight too at 186 pounds. We can't lose any weight at the moment. We are working at infantry specialist, which will improve our fame by a half star, but that's about 18 days away. So that's the situation we find ourselves in now. Okay. evening, Merox and Machine Head. Hope you guys are doing well. By the way, so while we're in this like little cluster over here, it's kind of weird. Like Northern Virginia looks like it's firmly in federal control. A lot of different units here. A lot of units in Western Virginia. The rebels have been pushed back south. So really the only area where we've been struggling is in and around Richmond. It's also strange because a lot of new troops have been raised, but they're all like scattered all over. Neither side is sort of concentrating into one solid body to try and force a major battle. So you've got a lot of like division size battles, but not really much larger than that at this point. In any event, let's go ahead and get time going here and see what we have in store for us. So you can see we're moving. I don't know if we're retreating, but we're down here in Richmond. We just fought, so I would imagine we're retreating. Our readiness is very low. Yeah, it says we're retreating. So for some reason, we're retreating south. But south and now west. So it looks like we've pulled west of Richmond itself. I don't know if we're going to wait there. Looks like we're kind of sitting here. I don't know if we have a supply line. There's a bunch of rebels over here to the west, which could threaten our supply line, but it looks like we're drawing supply through Staunton. Our headquarters is all the way up here. So not sure what's up with that. There's a depot over here, which might be able to draw supply for us. It looks like our ammo is still very low. So those other units fought and are withdrawing northwest. So more battles, more defeats. But hopefully some of our troops start returning to the ranks now that we're kind of resting. It looks like our provisions are not, well, they're not good, but they're not terrible. They are going down, though, so we must be drawing more supply than we can replace. More rebel units moving to the northeast against that 2nd Division up there. We're just sort of sitting in place here. And now we're pulling back toward, looks like, the Department of Virginia and the depot there. Major General McDowell ordered our unit to march westward. Why? Anyway, we're inside the range of that depot now, so it looks like we're drawing ammunition resupply as well for some of our artillery. Maybe not, but the little icons are going up. I don't know why our percentages still say they're low. But Richmond appears to be firmly back in rebel hands. Oh, siege combat. Your units engaged in a siege near Scottsville. Click on a unit symbol to open the battle. Okay. Why are we in a siege? I guess we're being besieged. It says 30%, but if we hover over here, these icons represent much better than 30%. Forage and provisions are at 100, and we don't have a little icon down here that says we're low on the supply. Looks like we outnumber the Rebs about 2-1 in the siege. I don't have the option to initiate combat because our readiness is too low, although we're in the mediocre range. So the only option we have is to withdraw. I don't want to do that, so I guess I will sit here. Our readiness is eking upwards. Oh, we're besieging the enemy. Got it. Okay. How does our division look right now? That's not what I meant. I wanted to like actually look at it. I guess I can't do that while we're in the siege. All right. Readiness is goddamn low. I hope we're not losing too many men in the siege. The rebels have reinforced and now outnumber us. So we're probably going to be driven back here. There's also rebels coming from the west. God damn it, we're going to lose. We're going to lose and there's nothing I can do about it. We're going to probably take a bunch of casualties. Why are we retreating south? I don't understand this game's retreat mechanics. We're retreating deep into the heart of the Confederacy. We have no likelihood of drawing supply there. You should be retreating north to Columbia, back to Spotsylvania, and up toward Frederick. What's the icon up here say? 5th Division disintegrates. Trying to reform at the next friendly town. Well, that ain't good. Are we really withdrawing all the way up to DC? Holy shit. The whole formation was wiped out? I've never seen that. How often do I think about the Roman Empire? I don't know, not that often. Does that mean I lose my entire brigade? Oh my god. I have no force left. It's just me. Somehow I escaped. Maybe the regiments will trickle in, but they're broken up for me. So the brigades are still here, but they're not under my command. So somehow I ended up back in DC, but my units didn't. I don't know if this is like a time thing where those show up after a period of time. I've never seen this before. Yeah, 28 days. So it's going to be like a month almost of me just sitting in DC waiting for what's left of my troops to be able to make it back to DC. I guess it makes sense the division would disintegrate when they withdrew that far south. You've increased your knowledge about infantry tactics and maneuvers. Okay. So I guess that's good. So my fame is now little known. I'm past 1 star just slightly. Actions. I can't do anything except personality right now until I get promoted again. Which I could get myself promoted, but I guess since we're not doing anything, let's do fat camp. I'll spend 500 prestige to lose some weight, because right now I'm actually being penalized for my weight. I'm at 187 pounds, and I get a movement, speed, and battle penalty. Also, in the Hall of Fame over here, we've got up to 47, so we were 51st, which is the lowest on the leaderboard. We're up to 47. The little known and mischievous commander of the 2nd Brigade, 5th Division Army of Northeastern Virginia. All right, so we're going to go to fat camp. That'll take a little bit of time. My troops will probably arrive toward the middle to end of August, I assume. $31 days now? 25 days? 29 days? 30 days, 24 days. So yeah, they're all a ways away. I have no troops to command. My darling Buela, the Yankees continue to vex our positions in Virginia and South Carolina considerably. They write insulting letters to us and read them aloud through conical horns to demoralize us and call us buttholes. Worse, the Yankees have fielded AH-64 attack helicopters. Terrible flying machines from the future. Nice, Anchor. Disaster at White House. Well, that's not the White House. That's somewhere else. So the Rebs have cleared out Richmond, which we had taken with great pains. It looks like West Virginia is still firmly in our control, and also even the Valley. So the Shenandoah Valley appears to be ours. Western Virginia appears to be ours. But sort of central and northern Virginia, less so. Looks like we just won a battle near Staunton. What the AI really needs to do is concentrate a force. Concentrate a formation to move south. Front Royal. Like, don't just fight individual division size engagements. That's one of the things I think the game's AI really needs to work on, is it needs to figure out how best to handle when new tech opens up so that you can do cores. Like, the AI really doesn't merge forces like it should. Like a player would. All right, 5th Division. I think we're still waiting. If I can find where my darn division is. It just forms new units. It doesn't like ever properly merge them. Yeah, Marox, if that ever happens. All right, these guys are still 14 days away, 8 days, 12 days, 4 days. It'd be nice if they were like reforming new troops while they were doing their thing. It does look like we're getting back a considerable amount of disabled troops. So I'm not really sure how this evacuation or disintegration works. It doesn't seem like the division itself was actually shattered so much as it like just is taking time to pull back together. Be really cool, but I don't think we'll ever see it if they enabled like a multiplayer. Disaster at Manassas Bridge. See, again, it just deployed an individual division down to Manassas Bridge to fight down there against considerable rebel forces. I'm curious, though, how the actual strategic, the full-size strategic campaigns would work. I think what I'm going to do after this series is over is I'm going to do a playthrough in a brigade-size full map campaign, either the 62 or the 64 campaign. Schizophrenic. Why did I get that trait? You're having severe mood swings thanks to your schizophrenic personality? I think the random traits are interesting, but that doesn't seem terribly... Like, what are the odds you just randomly develop it? Probably not great. Am I in a siege now? Or am I still back here? So it looks like the several divisions have moved south to fight in a siege near Alexandria. They outnumber the enemy considerably, 5-1, but there are reserves moving in. Potentially 43,000 troops. Major General Winfield Scott is in the field. That's funny. Considering he would outrank everybody, that doesn't seem very likely. All right, where am I? My troops back? It looks like some of them are. So Dixon Miles doesn't like me right now because of my personality, because of that schizophrenic thing. Meanwhile, it looks like 700 men of the 16th New York. I'm going to just assume that the remnants went home and recruited replacements, because these regiments are all basically back to full strength. Everybody except the artillery. They get any new weapons? No, and they're all still crap weapons, and there are no weapons in the depots to upgrade any of them too. Lame. So we still got Springfield muskets, 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 and muskets. Of course we do. But anyway, our brigade is back up to 3,400 men. That's a pretty good sized brigade. Ready to fight. Just need to get the orders. All right, they won at Alexandria. The rebels are retreating. Send our 5th Division down to join them. That's a pretty considerable force of over 20-some-odd thousand. With us, it would bring us, our division, it would bring us over 40,000. Or over 30,000. Feels like we'd be able to fight on relatively decent odds any of the potential opponents at that level. Meanwhile, the rebels are pushing back in the valley by the looks of it. We've got garrison divisions up and down the valley, but they're pushing hard down toward, is it Strasbourg? Although we just won a battle there. Okay. My guy's complaining about the food. Have we done the fat camp yet? Is that done? We did. All right. So our weight is now 140 pounds. Ooh, we're a flyweight. Increases our likelihood of being wounded. But we're gaining weight too, as long as we sit in camp. We're a skinny whippersnapper. Vargas, I don't see the AI that we see talked about a lot as being likely. Oh, we're moving as being likely to influence wargaming AI. It's not really about. Most of the language learning modules are like creating some kind of output like text or image. It's not really about like game decision making, and I don't know that they'd have enough data points to build something like that for a game like this. I could be wrong. We'll see. So we're moving south. Rebs just moved a division in front of Washington, but then away from it. It is September of 1862, and we're in a siege now? We're at 13,000 Rebs. We've got 23,000. Aquia Landing. Just Dixon Miles Division. None of the other federal divisions that we're moving with have engaged. Let's fight it. We outnumber the Rebs by a considerable number. Let's get in here and fight. Okay. Oh boy, it's raining. Thunderstorm fighting. Okay. We're facing the army. It says they have 22,000 men. The intel said they didn't. Intel said they had like 10,000, but this intelligence report says 23,000. So maybe there was some fog of war there. In any event, we have almost 30,000 men, so we still have an advantage in numbers. We're using the Fredericksburg map. We're deploying in the north. So I don't know where our orders will be. Let's hope we don't cross this way. Let's hope we move down south across these bridges, and it'll be more like Chancellorsville fighting. Never trust the intel, guys. That seems to be the lesson in this game. I don't know where I'm going. All right, here, take this objective. Okay, so we're going to move on the left side of the map again. So more like Fredericksburg fighting. So we're going to move down into this open clearing here to the northeast of this objective near Salem Church. On the move again. I can't wait to get on the move again. We've got 100% ammo, 3,500 men. We've got good loss resistance capabilities for our units. I think they're more experienced. My brigade has 2 stars of experience. We've got a 3-star regiment, a 3-star regiment, a 2-star regiment, a 1-star artillery battery, another 3-star regiment, and a 2-star regiment. So we have quite a bit of experience behind our boys. It's 9 in the morning, so we'll probably get there before the battle, before the day ends. I love these maps so much, by the way. Like, down here, okay. Up here, they look like works of art. Oh shit, there's Rebs over here. Alright, yeah, I was going to suggest we move over this way. That's interesting. So we've got federal troops forming up. We've got some cavalry as the eyes and ears here forming up in front of this rebel defensive position here in this clearing. So the Rebs are clearly defending Scott's Ford and whatever this other fort is down here. But because we're crossing near Falmouth, we can actually move our troops in behind that rebel position and maybe give them a bit of a bloody nose. It's a nice little opportunity, perhaps, to engage a segment of the rebel formation and defeat them in detail rather than having to engage the whole formation. But we're going to just kind of be quiet for a few moments while our troops move into position and just, I guess, observe. They definitely have the elevation advantage. It looks like they've got some skirmishers out here skirmishing with the 2nd New York. Not really anyone fighting per se at this point over here, but yeah. You can see some couriers taking the river road, avoiding the Rebs over here, presumably to bring our detachment more orders. I'm guessing the army commander's over here, so they're bringing orders down this road. if they did run down this main road into the rebel lines, the rebels would actually capture our orders and it would tell them what we're trying to do. We've got a little bit of a traffic jam here with a couple of brigades all trying to move down the same road, so it is hindering our ability to move quickly. Would I recommend the DLC? Looks, it's a little bit janky. I enjoy it, but I know some folks are of the opinion that it's not polished enough. I mean, it's a game that's made by one programmer, one artist, and like one other guy, I think. So it's not really a big team. The ambition for this game is off the charts. The execution at times leaves for some desirability, but I'm enjoying it. I like the role-playing elements. I think it's neat. I do think it, as a regimental commander, I would recommend doing what you can to start as a brigadier. It's a much more enjoyable experience. I'm moving at times 2 speed, which for those of you watching live may be a little bit annoying because not a lot's happening, but my understanding is based on the way the morale checks work, you don't want to run it more than ×5 when you're fighting. It wants us to deploy in the river road here short, so we get a nice little prestige bonus when our troops hit that section. Looks like the troops at Scott's Ford are pushing forward now. See the skirmishers just engaged and dismounted on this detachment. We've also got troops moving up behind them to support. The Tigers. Our troops are moving along this roadway here. I assume the enemy hasn't spotted us yet, but I don't know if that's true. We certainly will when we come around the bend of this road. 16th New York moving in. Couple AI regiments, 28th and 9th, or 8th and 29th New Yorks. Plus 20 prestige. Combat zone reached. So we get 20 prestige for each of one of our regiments that's arriving to the ordered section of the field. Which again, it's taking time to deploy behind them. That's one of the things I love about this game is like getting your division or your brigade to come online. It takes time. And if you've ever seen the movie Gettysburg, it's kind of, there's a lot of reference to that in the early part of the battle where Buford's talking about like, it's going to take Heath so-and-so to get his division into position to hit us. So even though we're heavily outnumbered, like we have a little bit of time, and if we can force them to deploy, that's going to take longer. Anyway, our orders have now changed. We're now supposed to engage the enemy. So we did get 3 of our regiments into the ordered zone before the zone disappeared. Now we're just going to come up on the enemy and engage them from the rear, hopefully while these other AI units continue to press forward in their front. I would agree with that, Vargas. I don't think there's another game out there quite like this. There are games that are better with pieces of it. Scourge of War, in my opinion, is better at the tactical combat. Ultimate General has a much more has a smoother interface. It has some of the role-playing elements, but it doesn't have the strategic campaign. Age-Odd Civil War 2 has a much, has a grand strategy game, but not the tactical battles. 2nd Brigade's coming up, boys. This enemy brigade is engaging heavily outnumbered. They may get shredded before we even arrive. Alright, we've engaged the enemy. Casualties inflicted. Looks like some cavalry is charging one of the enemy regiments that's already routing. I think that's the Tigers. Can't rightly see. Meanwhile, we've got two regiments online. Third's coming up. A little bit clustered. I don't have the greatest field of fire, but I did that more out of haste because I don't think the enemy's going to last long. Charge! Get in there, boys. Melee the bastards. Seize those guns. All right, so that rebel brigade was routed from the field. 850 enemy casualties, only 300 federal casualties in the midst of this rainstorm. I'm going to detach some troops here, set 30 men to seize these guns. Or seize this gun. Are they each just one gun, or are they two batteries? 2 guns and 2 guns. No. Are they 2 guns and 2 guns? It's just the 2 guns. Okay. Rebs are up around our left, so I don't really know where the A game wants us to go. The objective is still down here near Salem Church, in theory. But there's a full brigade that appears unhindered moving across the river. Perhaps they were going to try and hit us in the flank. I'm not sure, but they're going to be coming in heavily outnumbered. Can we attach all these units? Alright, let's deploy the brigade down here. I don't have orders. My orders are to engage the enemy, so I'm going to deploy in this wood line here. Looks like the Rebs have a line formed up over here. Mostly skirmishers in this field. Whoa. That artillery unit has... I've never seen that many stars on a unit. It looks like they've got a line of infantry down here in the south, so I'm assuming that's where we're going to be ordered to go. This Hampton's Legion moving in on the ford behind us. Yeah, so there's a single regiment pushing toward the ford, while we've got 4 regiments out here and roughly equal rebel units to their front. I'll move my 3,500 men into position here. I don't think I want to attack this all by myself, but I at least want to get in position. Some of these other brigades here still kind of sit near the river road. Looks like the guns I seized are being moved, so that's nice. 3-inch ordnance rifle is one of the detachments. So we've got 4 3-inch ordnance rifles that we seized, plus our own 3 10-pound Parrott rifles. So we've got about 7 guns under our own command. We'll see what the Rebs do. There is some shooting going on somewhere. I assume it's over here with Hampton's Legion. They may actually... I don't know if these troops are just sitting ducks. Like, it doesn't look like they're moving. These guys might have rifles? Although they're being flanked from behind. Those other regiments are coming in. Weird. The units across here moved 2 regiments back to deal with Hampton's Legion while moving 3 regiments forward to push these 5 or so enemy regiments away on the left bank of the Rappahannock. Where are these guys going? 93rd New York, what are you doing? Where are you going? You going off the map? No, no, no. Oh, we got more troops forming up over here. What should it take to take the 3rd Brigade? Only 99 prestige, huh? We're going to take over the 3rd Brigade. We're going to move it up. And then we're going to attack. So I don't know where you guys are going. This seems like maybe a bug. Let's use some prestige and take your unit over. Go get on that fence line and support the troops already attacking. Artillery's in place. I'm going to detach the artillery. Mainly so I don't want to bring them with me when I launch my infantry assault, so I will detach them from the brigade. We're going to form the brigade into single line, and then we're going to advance on what looks like the flank of this enemy position. Meanwhile, we're bringing the 3rd Brigade up in double line to attack the front of the enemy position here, although there are troops further south. So we have to take care not to get flanked. We're making our play to get promoted here today. If we do well enough, perhaps we will. Casualties are evening out a bit. Looks like the Hampton's Legion was dealt with, but the other attack on the left bank of the Rappahannock isn't going quite as well. Alright. 2nd Brigade's moving forward. 3rd Brigade under my command is moving into position as well. Do we command some cavalry here? We do. Interesting. Where are you going, 93rd New York? I did not order you to go that way. They're anchored near Banks's Ford, so it looks like they got effectively 3 brigades in here. The troops are moving forward now. Their cohesion is not great. They're gonna get shredded. They're engaging a whole brigade by themselves. They got 90 men, which is nice, but alright. Let's move our brigade forward here. It looks like there's a brigade attacking to our right flank, so we're going to get our troops into position here. Some enemy skirmishers in this wood line on our flank that we'll have to deal with, and then we'll come in hopefully on the enemy flank to help deal with these boys down here. 93rd routed pretty quick. They didn't actually lose that many men. I don't even know what unit they're in. I also don't know where they're being fired on from. Is this artillery shooting at anybody? They are. Okay, let's move our regiments forward. So we're dealing with some skirmishers in front here. Let's get these boys into this wood line. Then there's some rebs here. This is some very dramatic terrain also. All right, so the enemy's kind of clumped together here. They do have troops protecting their flank a bit, but... Boys, maybe don't move quite so far forward to engage. Okay. Rubs around your flank. Retreat out of there. You're gonna get rocked. But this episode's a little bit long to include all in one, or at least this battle's a little bit long to include all in one video. So we're gonna go ahead and jump in here, end this video on a bit of a cliffhanger, and see how things play out in our next video. Until our next video, however, this is the Historical Gamer once again saying thank you very much for watching, and until next time, I'm out.